Welcome in, race fans, to another episode of Horsepower Happenings. A great show coming up for you tonight. We'll talk with Matt Kemp, fresh off his best career ARCA Menards East Series finish. And Dan Leeck wins on Saturday at Owosso. And you're going to want to hear what he has to say about all of it coming up. But first, here's what's happening in a Motor City Minute. The NASCAR Series we're in North Wilkesboro for the weekend. The Truck Series ran on Saturday. Chandler Smith got the job done. In the Open on Sunday, Carson Hocevar grabbed the win. The All-Star race went to Christopher Bell for NASCAR Cup Series action. In the ARCA Menards Series, Max Reeves became the first driver in ARCA Menards Series East history to win his first 3 career starts after he took home the Dutch Boy 150 at Flat Rock on Saturday. He'll try to make it 4 in a row, July 18th at Dover. And T-Mac Tim McCready grabs 2 World of Outlaw late model wins in 4 days after taking the win in the Billy Wynn Classic at Bedford Speedway on Sunday night. He kicked off his weekend with a win at race 7 on Thursday. And finally, Max Stambaugh inherited the pole on Friday at Limaland Motorsports Park and went on to win the Run for the Rabbit, his first career Run for the Rabbit victory with the Great Lakes Super Sprints. Those things and so much more happening tonight on Horsepower Happenings. Good evening. Welcome in. I'm Zach Heiser. Rich France joins me from across the way. How are you, sir?
Not too bad. They make it easy on Max when you put him out in the pin, don't
I
they?
tell you what. Yeah. What
Did
about
he
that
even break a
show?
sweat? Did he even break a sweat?
I got a chance to watch that on Flow Racing from home on Saturday. Didn't have a race scheduled, so it was kind of nice to kick back and see that. And we're going to talk about this coming up in the interview with Matt Kemp. That was one of the most physical ARCA races I've seen at Flat Rock in a long time. You would think, oh, it's Flat Rock, it's a short track. What are you talking about? You go back and watch the film, those guys are usually pretty clean. There were some scuffed fenders and bent feelings on Saturday by the time it was all said and done.
Yeah, and they were doing it early, Zach. I'm
Yeah.
talking in the first 25, 50 laps. And I looked at Gary and I said, "Do they know this is a 150 lap race? This is not a sprint." And yeah, I mean the caution flags that came out were flat out dumps. I mean there wasn't any other way. But the ARCA Menard series doesn't have the rule where they have a spinner spinny rule. So you dump somebody, you get to keep your spot. The other guy has to go to the back. So that's the way it worked out. Um, Outside of that, it was good racing when it was green. I
Yeah.
mean, and like I said, I think there were only 4 caution flags, but man, it was
Track,
a good race.
track was
Solid race in
fast
the top
too.
5.
Track was fast too, right? Your local divisions had some fun on Saturday, didn't they?
Yeah, our local division. So we had our 2 local divisions. Both of them broke the track record,
Wow.
and Max Reese broke the track record for the ARCA Menards East series. So
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, not many storylines this week because not a lot of places raced. The Midwest Modifieds Tour race got rained out at Berlin on Saturday. Regular show at Butler, which you've got in your local winners from this weekend, and we've got a massive show. So I was just going to say, might as well just go over local winners this weekend because if they weren't on this list, Mother Nature rained them out pretty much.
yeah, we had some tracks. I did know we had some tracks that with the forecast went ahead and canceled ahead of time. Sometimes that's the best, for what they think. But Berlin gave it a shot, man. They tried to get it in, and it just wasn't working out. They just couldn't get the track dry before it rained again. So they probably made the best decision. But let's go to local winners, Zach. This is the first time we said this gentleman's name in the 2025 season, which I didn't think it would take till the end of May to do that. Travis Stemler brought home the late model feature win on Friday at Tri-City. Colin Thurlby would take home the B-Mod honors. And then Stemler proceeded to go back-to-back, grabbing the 30-lap late model feature at Crystal on Saturday.
Yeah,
Landon Schuster.
I
Yeah.
was just going to say this is going to shake up the dirt super late model power rankings presented by Domination Race Cars because I'll tell you what, Logan Nickerson did not have a good weekend. Travis Stemler had a really good weekend. So we'll see if the defending power rankings champion gets up front this week.
Yeah, and it's going to bounce around. Zach,
Oh yeah,
some of the guys, it's going to bounce around all season long, but it's fun just to keep track early in the season. Landon Schuster took home his first win of 2025 in the street stock 25 lap feature at Flat Rock. Derek Shepard, you say, oh, Derek Shepard? No, he wasn't an outlaw. He grabbed the 100 lap factory stock feature win at
you had
Flat Rock.
an interesting driver making their street stock debut Saturday, didn't you?
We did, and he won his heat race.
How about that?
He, yep, Keegan Sabilo. I didn't know it. I was like, we were sitting in the tower, and I saw the car, and they said, and I heard officiating say, "Oh, there's a different driver in the 15," and they butchered everything about his name. And I said, "Can I take this? I kind of know this guy, right?" And they said, "Who is it?" And I told him, and I said, "That's who it's got to be." So I immediately after I ran down there and did an interview with him for the fans and everything like that, and kind of got the reason why he was down there. So
Cool.
he met Kyle Worley from CRA from running the Sportsman, and that was Kyle Worley's car that Kyle offered to have him come down and race.
Cool.
Didn't qualify all that well, but won his heat race. So one appearance at Flat Rock, 1 for Keegan Sabilo.
Nice job. Should I,
And then
you want me to take some of these? I mean, I can.
you can do these if you want.
Okay. Yeah,
They're
sure.
more
Why not?
along your line.
Oh, well, I'll give you a break. Keith Sheffer Jr., how about this? In the Randerson Racing ride, the HPH luck continues this season. Keith Sheffer Jr. goes to victory lane in the 25-lap Peltz Tire 410 sprint car feature at Butler on Saturday. Dylan Nussbaum picked up the UMP modified win. And then up at Mount Pleasant Speedway, how about this? Cody Johnson grabs the win on Friday night in the IMCA modifieds, and Justin Ward makes it 2 in a row on the season with the Great Lakes Lightning Sprints. So there you have it, Rich. Some of the winners from the weekend.
I don't know that we have many more many more tracks that got it in.
Yeah,
I mean, I tried to check everybody else.
Silver Bullet raced. We'll talk to Dan Leeck from Owosso Speedway. Corrigan Oil, they ran on Sunday. They had their Sunday show this week, so Corrigan Oil was in action. And I think that might be it. I think that's everybody. Everybody else, I think, got rained out. No Hartford, no KZU, no I-96, no Thunderbird, no Berlin.
Yeah, well, we did have one edit that we didn't talk about, and I just wanted to bring it up. The second part, old 12 time was at it again this weekend at Owosso.
Oh yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Andy Bozell picks up the 40-lap late model sportsman feature. He ain't done yet, Zach.
Oh no,
He just ain't done yet. Well, Zach, it's time for our first featured interview tonight. It's brought to you by the Michigan Auto Racing Fan Club. This gentleman, fresh off his best career finish in the ARCA Menards East Series, Matt Kemp, welcome into Horsepower Happenings.
Oh, man, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me, guys.
Man, we got to talk a little bit back in the pit area. By the way, thank you very much for throwing our sticker on that hot rod for Saturday. Did you know that you were going to be that good right off the trailer?
You always hope, but no, and I know we were working on some things, and I had a lot of thoughts in my mind after last year of things I knew I could do better, but yeah, for us to go out in that first practice and basically track the 18 down from a straightaway, I was about jumping out of the seat. I was like, that's crazy, man. So we stayed at the top of the pylon for about half the practice, and yeah, I couldn't believe that. So no, I was surprised, but I knew the folks at Fast Track were going to bring good cars, so I knew we were going to have pretty solid pace and had a lot of confidence in that, but it exceeded my expectations for sure right off the rip.
What is it? You're running there in practice, and I was keeping an eye on you, and I'm like, he got by that behind that Joe Gibbs car to gauge himself, right? And you caught him, you caught Max Reeves, and then backed off, and then caught him again because your car was that good. And you're looking at a Joe Gibbs racing car right in front of you. That doesn't happen every day.
For sure. And we were actually on 35 lap scuffs right there. So we were feeling pretty good about our car, and knew once we put stickers on it, I was probably going to pick up a bit in qualifying, which fortunately we did. And honestly, that was my thought all week long. I'm like, man, if I can qualify good, I know I can run at least one good lap, regardless of what we can do in the race. So, because I really am not too experienced in these races. That was my second full race that I've actually completed. So, I knew we could at least get qualifying if I nailed it, and I don't know if I quite nailed it, but we got pretty close.
Well, and you mentioned the experience in a full ARCA East race, and that was one of the things I wanted to ask about. Kind of a, it's an interesting but also sometimes a difficult thing to talk about is, your starts that you've had with fast track racing have all varied in length, and I think everybody realizes what that's all about. Money talks, and that's kind of the way the sport works. So how could you prepare, and how much were you able to work with this team to put a full effort together for a full race in the Dutch Boy 150? I mean, how much could you prepare to try to go after, well, what you accomplished, a top five?
Well, you're exactly right. I mean, the hardest part about this whole deal is the money, and that's what it takes. And fortunately, for racing, there's a lot of value in the advertising dollars that go into it. With obviously with the broadcasts, with what you guys do, there's a lot of different ways that companies can benefit from sponsoring a race car, and we're fortunate that a lot of people took a chance on me to help me out, and who've come on board and partnered with us, and we've had a lot of fun with all of our partners. We actually had a few folks out from Edgewater Automation at the race. It was really awesome having them out there and having them in the pits. It was a lot of fun, just little stuff like that, and but it is a lot of work to put these deals together, and it takes a long time, and a lot of times it comes right down to the wire. And we like, if it was 2 weeks ago, if the race was 2 weeks earlier, we wouldn't have been able to make it, but we had a few folks come through at the last minute and help us get the rest of the way there. So really, in terms of preparedness, that's about all you can do to prepare, is find partners to do it, and hope you're ready. I could
I'm
have probably exercised a little more too.
well, I heard about that. I was going to ask you about that. But for me, in my mind, I'm thinking about, like, that Fast Track Racing wants to have a good show. Matt Kemp Racing, putting all this time and effort and putting all this money together, wants to have a good show. But it's no secret that a lot of the stuff that Fast Track does are kind of starting parks or short run, not full races. Um, how do you balance that for what Fast Track Racing wants to do? Because I'm sure they were thrilled, for the front row start and the fourth place finish. Matt's thrilled for the front row start and the fourth place finish. And then you wonder, okay, if we had a little bit more experience doing this, running full races, do we end up on the podium? Do we run second? Do we somehow win this race? Those hypotheticals, I think, are the hardest part in my mind for what you're doing. Just kind of elaborate on that a little bit.
No, you're spot on, because, you know, like I said, I'd been thinking about last year's Flat Rock race for about a year. So, and everybody's got different agendas out there. Everybody's kind of, figuring out what each other's doing. But quite frankly, with what we're doing, just trying to make the most of every single opportunity, because, that's the hard part about it. Like you said, you got to come up with the money, and then being able to put it all together once you do finally get the opportunity to do so, and then hoping you have a good car, and hoping the competition's just right, the weather's just right. There's just so many factors that go into everything. So yeah, needless to say, I mean, I'm pretty stoked with how this weekend went, but always wondering about what more could have been, for sure, especially with some experience.
Yeah, man, you had a brand new pavement that you'd never been on. You had enough wins at Flat Rock, but not on that pavement. That's for sure. Probably the most disappointing you were all day was, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say, was your start at the beginning of the race. You didn't get off to a good start on the outside of the front row. They all kind of got by you. Was that the product of a brand new racetrack and maybe some cold tires? Because you guys they didn't give you but 2 or 3 laps and they went green real quick.
For sure. And honestly, that's my biggest thing watching the race back. And I knew after the race, that's one of those things it's funny, because I was so stoked with how the day went. Like, if you'd have told me a week ago that I started second, finished fourth, I'd be like, amazing. Like, that's fantastic. What a day. But we get to the end of the day and it's like, man, I was just dog shit on restarts. Like, I was so bad. Like, we go to these other bigger tracks, and I actually have done pretty decent out of my feel. And man, I couldn't get the power down. And I would chalk that up to inexperience, and that's on me. So that's definitely something that, with running some more races, I think I could get some more experience under my belt and get better at that. But at least I'd hope, man, because it was, yeah, I know that was a pretty rough part. But once we got going, we had great pace. It just, yeah, like I said, just frustrated with myself a little bit, not being able to figure that out as much as we were able to. Plus the top, did play a role in that. I felt like there was a little less grip up there. So, and I think I only got to restart on the bottom one time in the whole race. So, and I think we did actually maintain or gain a spot on that restart. So I think there was a little bit to that, but there's a little bit, I think, to me, just kind of sucking on the high side there too.
I thought one of the other things I wanted to talk to you about, that race was physical more than what we see in an ARCA
No
Menards
kidding,
series
man.
race from the beginning. I mean, people just shoving everybody around, and then you're lucky you came back with a race car and a steering wheel because you almost hit Jeff McZink. He's sitting sideways in turn 4. That was probably one of the best saves I have ever seen because I thought you were in him for sure.
Yeah, I did too. I was certain. I was like, yeah, we just wrecked. Like, there's no way we make it through this. So, um, no, I actually that happened. If you watch the video, it looks like I had forever to react, but the whole thing happened in my A pillar, so I couldn't see anything that was happening because it was all behind my A pillar, and my spotter keyed up and was like wrecking off of 4, and it happens so fast. It's like, oh, okay. And I look up and there's a car kind of spinning to the outside, so I kind of committed to the bottom, and then he whipped the wheel and started flying back down the track, so I had to full crank to the right and slam the brake, and yeah, I was certain we were in it too, but you know what? I'll take it though. It got us the sweet move of the race, so I'm happy about that. Thank you, Reese's.
And I've never seen a full-bodied stock car. That was like watching them at Watkins Glen or something. The way that thing just whipped and went up the hill. I mean, that was everything about that was impressive. Did it feel closer in the car, or was it as close as? I mean, did you think you were still going to wreck even after getting by him? You're like, okay, did we hit him?
Yeah, I'm like, there's no way we didn't hit him. That was nothing short of a miracle for sure. Like, that was insane. I yeah, there might have been an explicitive or two on the radio. Uh, I was because I like, man, I'm just getting here, man. I can't afford to fix it. These people got to stop wrecking in front of me, and that's basically what I said. I'm like, these guys got to stop. There was 4 cautions in that race, right?
Mm.
3 of them were for spins. All 3 were directly in front of me.
Right in front of
And
you.
I had to, yeah. I'm like, goodness, man, we gotta watch out for this. And the way they
Yeah,
were
but
racing,
you know what, Matt? Though the video of the McZink spin, that was closer than what it looks like on video. I saw it in real time, and I didn't think there was any way in the world there was room for you to get your car by the 65 at
yeah,
all.
I didn't
And
either, man.
so Zach, the video gives him, it doesn't give him as much credit as what he deserves.
It
It
gives
was
him too
that
much
tight.
room. Oh man. This race for you, being at a track that you've won so much with the MCR Dwarfs, this was an opportunity. I think a lot of people were watching you, right? You had a lot of fans there. You had a lot of fans watching on Flow. What was the week like building up to it? And then on race day, I know, for instance, Doug, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, Emily, they made a special trip out to Flat Rock to get to watch you race. I saw obviously your wife was out there and just what was the experience like outside of the race car with all the support that you got leading up to this race?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, just to start, you mentioned Doug and Emily. Love those guys. Can't thank them enough for always coming to the races whenever I'm racing. They're awesome. Doug's great at keeping me in line, so I appreciate him coming out there. He's my racetrack brother. So, for anybody who doesn't know, we've been racing together. Man, we started racing together about the same time. I think he was racing a year or two before me, but we started racing in kind of the same series and uh, just kind of been good buddies ever since then. So, but anyway, the week leading up to the race was really fun from the aspect of knowing like we're going to be back at least after Tuesday, because that's kind of when we locked it down that we were doing it. And then by Thursday, I knew what car I was going to be in. And actually, I shouldn't say it was fun. It was actually a pretty tough week. I don't know,
Okay.
I'm kind of lying right now, but Wednesday night, I think I went about midnight, 1 o'clock to grab my vinyl from Jaden because that was about the only time I'd go out there and get the vinyl. And still working an 8 to 5. I still had to get up for work in the morning.
Oh man.
So doing that, and then just trying to put different press releases together and make sure that sponsor deals were going to come through, getting the receivables and doing all the things, just trying to make it to the track. So I'll be honest with you, the week before this one was pretty rough. We had a lot to tackle.
When were you able to
When
start enjoying it? When were you able to finally go take that deep breath and go, all right, we got a competitive car out of the stable. We've put the money together to be able to run the whole thing. And when were you able to finally sit back and take it in? Sunday?
Probably, yeah, yeah. To be honest with you, it was probably like Sunday, but no, actually Sunday I was. We mentioned being pretty bad out of shape. I was pretty sore on Sunday, so that was another one I was just recovering. But no, honestly, I probably just get into the track on Saturday. I was able to enjoy it. It was, yeah, just an awesome. Anytime you roll into Flat Rock, it's hard to be too upset about that.
Well, Zach, we got to pay some bills real quick. And if you're looking to get more involved in motorsports and even support motorsports in the state of Michigan, then the Michigan Auto Racing Fan Club is your ticket. Club meetings are held monthly, October through April, and they feature guest speakers, tours of racing facilities, a benefit bowling tournament, and the end of the season award banquet, a dinner dance, and other fun activities. It also includes free admission to fan club days at member racetracks throughout the summer. The cost of an annual membership is $20 for a single person, $25 for a couple or family, and the family includes 2 adults and all children up to the age of 15. Payment of your dues entitles you to your membership card, a window decal, and a monthly newsletter. If you love short track racing or just follow motorsports in general, the Michigan Auto Racing Fan Club is calling on you. The Michigan Auto Racing Fan Club is, Zach, the best deal in motorsports.
That's right. Rich, I know you had something lined up. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to ask, you were talking about all the people and Zach asked you, when did you have a time to settle in? Flat Rock did a cool deal with allowing all the fans that were there come back in the pits. They were back there for about an hour and it was packed. You guys didn't have room to breathe. Everybody that was in the grandstands went in the pit area.
It's pretty awesome. And I love that about Flat Rock. Going through the ARCA garage at one of the big tracks like Talladega or Daytona or Michigan or wherever, when all the haulers are lined up and it kind of looks like the Cup garage, it's a really cool experience. But to have those same haulers and those same cars at a place like Flat Rock, it's just the coolest damn thing in the world to me. I mean, if I was 13 years old and ARCA was coming to Flat Rock, I would be like, this is the most incredible thing that's ever happened in the history of racing. So, yeah, no, I love it. And I was so glad that they did that again. And it's a lot of fun just having all those folks down there and interacting with them. And yeah, I just know it's a good thing for the sport and for the track. And kudos to Flat Rock for all they've done. And you mentioned the repave earlier too. Big kudos to them on that because same old Flat Rock.
I want to ask about what you're doing locally now. You've put a lot of emphasis and a lot of focus into getting these ARCA starts. And, obviously now you get the full race under your belt at Flat Rock. You have a really good showing. And when we talked to you, I think it was last year we talked to you, you said, we're probably gonna scale back on the MCR dwarf car stuff and put a big focus into doing some more fast track racing stuff. How are things looking? What's shaping up? What do you have going on? A little birdie that we may have mentioned earlier told me at one point that I think there's a schedule conflict with what you wanted to do with MCR, and now maybe an ARCA opportunity popping up. So what are you balancing right now for the rest of the year?
For sure. And as of today, I really don't have anything super set in stone. But when's this come out?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. All right. Well,
Today.
This portion of the show has been pre-recorded.
Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, we might end up somewhere this weekend, and then I'm really hoping we can get something together for Michigan and Berlin. I really want to run those Michigan races. Still need some pretty decent sized folks to come through and help us out, but
can you talk
really
about
trying
what it
for it.
takes? I mean, can you talk about that? Like when you say that, and somebody, I mean, I messaged you last week and I was asking, like, what does it take, and what is helpful to be on the side of one of these cars? And I loved your answer because this is how I race too. Anything helps, and we'll figure out how to make it work for both of us. But
For sure.
what do you try to accomplish with your marketing partners?
Well, what I try to accomplish with them ultimately is what a marketing partner wants at the end of the day, and that's ROI, which, don't get me wrong, is not an easy thing to come by. You can't just put a sticker on a race car and get ROI, right? Like that's just not how it works. You got to activate. You got to make the most of it, and it really, like when people say it just kind of depends on the partner. It really does. I mean, you just never know. I mean, it just matters so much where they're located and who their target audience is, where their audience is, how you can reach their audience, if it, how much crossover there is with the racing side of things. And there's a lot of strategy that you got to, think about and play into it. But, um, I've done a lot of research and have a bachelor's in basically business administration and marketing. So I've done my best to do the most I can, to learn the most I can, to give them the most I can out of these opportunities. So there's a lot of different things, especially through activation, that we do.
What do you got to try to come up with? I was just a bottom
Yeah.
line. What do you got to try to come up with
It's
to make Michigan or Berlin or something like that? Or is it fluid?
it's pretty, I mean, it's fluid, kind of depends on the team you want to go with, but I mean, the top teams, you're looking at more than an annual salary of an average individual. So it's
5 digits and a comma in there.
Right.
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 Yeah, it's no easy feat. I mean, it's not, there's a lot of value there for sure, that that I've been able to find through research and whatnot, but yeah, it takes a lot.
I've talked to some guys over the years that were doing some driver development stuff in outlaw super late models, and got me curious. Right, not that I need driver development, but it would give me, hey, I'd love to do that. That's like a bucket list thing that I didn't do in my racing career, and it depended where you're racing and how many laps. If it was a regular feature, smaller track, not a whole lot of speed, maybe 5-6 grand for a show, with a blank check that you got to give for a crash deposit. But if you're going to somewhere like Toledo, man, you start at about 10 grand.
It's crazy. Racing is expensive, man, and that's like I said, fortunately for the racing community, there's a lot of value in marketing, because if there wasn't, we wouldn't have a sport.
Have you been able to sit down? I know it's only Monday, 48 hours later, but have you been able to sit down and figure out what your brand exposure has changed from starting second, running fourth, Reese's move of the race? I mean, a lot of things, and I'll admit this, I was getting pretty frustrated with Flow Racing on Saturday because it was either the leaders or the points leader. And my buddy Matt Kemp was battling for position at one time, and they cut away from him, and I threw my hands in the air and said some things. But what have you noticed a change? Like, have you had a chance to go through your social media numbers yet and see what Saturday did for your brand?
I haven't, but I could see it, right? Like, I can just notice it. I haven't gone through and crunched any numbers, but I can just, I open it up and I see it. Like, I don't have time at all on Saturday, and I was very fortunate that the Uno Over the Wall Club was out there, and some folks with some interns, and they have the crews basically on the car are Uno Over the Wall Club, and I was fortunate to have one of their interns working my social media all day, so I didn't have to think about it. That's something I usually have to do kind of all on my own, and it is pretty tough to do when you're doing all those other things. So just about impossible. So after the day, he got through with that, and he did a great job. And I honestly, I could tell like that there was a difference made throughout the day doing that for me. And I hope my marketing partners feel the same way at the end of the day too.
What about Julie? What's Julie doing? Put her on that.
No, she told me she's more than happy to help me away from the track, but she doesn't like the at track stuff, and I don't blame her at all.
I loved her post on social that she said Saturday's race probably took some years off of her life. But that had to be rewarding for you, though, right? Having your wife there and being able to put on the performance that you did and just have her support. Like, what that had to have meant so much to you.
It does. It does. And it doesn't get said enough with how much of a grind it is just to get to these races. I mean, people will never understand the grind that it takes to get to these races. I mean, I can't even put it into words. Like, it takes so much time. And, with everything that we're doing in life, the sacrifices have to be made because they only make so much time in a day. So it's a tough thing. And just very fortunate and blessed and grateful for her to that she puts up with me like she does, because she does an exceptional job. Takes very
another
good
one
care
of
of me.
another one of the things I saw back in the pit area, Matt, and I don't know if you saw him. Zach, one of the guys from Bubba's About Broke podcast, Jackson McLaren, was in the race, right? So John Nix came up from the Nashville Fairground Speedway, and Bubba's Bout Broke podcast. He went through the whole pit area interviewing people. And they're from down in Tennessee. So the ARCA Menards series kind of has a little bit of stretch regarding not just us, following guys that perform well on Monday, but at the racetrack as well. That's pretty cool.
For sure. Yeah, it's a great to be tied with the national series that is ARCA, and with NASCAR kind of owning it, there's even more reach with that. So there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of potential for reaching a lot of people.
Well, Matt, man, congratulations. It was fun. It was a rare opportunity that I had a Saturday night where I wasn't doing anything except for sitting at home. And it was cool to put it on Flow Racing, and, from driver intros to rolling off the grid. And as you said, sucking on the starts and the restarts and then powering your way back up to fourth. It was really cool, and proud of you, and congratulations.
Well, thanks so much, guys. Can't thank you enough for having me. Can't thank Fast Track enough for an amazing car, an amazing opportunity, for the folks at ARCA for putting it on, and for all my friends and family and everybody who came on to support us this weekend to get us there. It's been a lot of fun, and hope to do it again soon. And I appreciate you guys again just having me on.
Well, and I think we'd be remiss too. We talked so much about what it takes. If you have a couple sponsors you want to run through and read off, please feel free to thank them personally.
Oh man. All right, hold on. Let me find the list. I don't want to forget anybody. I'm so scared right now. Every time I get in victory lane in the dwarf car stuff, I always forget somebody. Like literally last year at Owosso, Doug helped me repack my bearings. Like if it wasn't for him, we weren't making the feature and we weren't winning the feature.
And you left him off the list?
And I forgot to mention it. I'm like, how do I do that?
He'll be all right. Yeah, he'll be all right. He'll be all right. Well,
I've done that a couple times. It's so hard, man. This is
one thing too that we didn't talk about is you kind of put out a reach out to social media folks, and this is what I did. And you were like, "Hey, $100 goes a long way." How did that campaign go for you? Of just kind of the smaller donations, personal type of stuff.
For sure. So basically, those things they really help with the little things like it costs to fuel to get to the track. There's a lot of little expenses.
You've got to eat while you're there,
Yeah, there's just so many different little things that add up, and there's more people. I never liked doing that, but then I got like asked about it so many times. Like, hey, can I help? Can I do this? Mm-hmm. You really should do this. And I'm like, okay, all right, I guess I'll do it. I don't ever like to. I'm not the kind to like to ask for money, so I really like this marketing thing where I can justify like, hey, there's some return on investment on it.
Well, so and I think that's why I asked. I think that's why I asked what you're looking to do for Michigan and Berlin, because I think there are a lot of people out there who can't write a $20,000 check, but they can drop $500 or less if they support Matt Kemp, and that's a way that they can help.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take much. Those folks come on board and help us out. It goes a long way, and it really does. 3 or 4 of those, we get a set of tires, right? So it goes a long way.
All right. Does. Who was on that car on Saturday?
Well, ELH Detailing, Eddie's been a huge supporter of mine. Can't thank him enough. They do an awesome job. They got a Father's Day car show coming up. If you're anywhere on the southwest side of the state, make sure to get out to that. Fathom Realty, my dad has been kind of venturing into the realty kind of thing the last couple of years. Can't thank him enough for helping me out all he can. He's not we would have been in NASCAR a long time ago if he was able to get me to this level. So just appreciate him doing all he does for me and trying to help me the most I can with what I'm doing. Epic Dumpster Rentals came on. They're on the east side of the state. If you ever need to rent a dumpster, make sure to get Epic Dumpster Rental. Edgewater Automation's been an awesome partner over the last couple of years who've come on. Can't thank them enough. Top Row Racing Media gave us a lot of support. Lewis does an awesome job on everything he does. His social medias are great. Make sure to go follow him on socials. And then Hoax Graphics does an awesome job with everything they do in graphics and horsepower happenings. Can't thank you guys enough for everything.
Oh, you didn't have to throw us the softball, but thank you.
Save the best for last, right?
Man. Well, hey, you know what? Keep us posted. Again, if you didn't catch it, maybe a little nugget coming out this week on what Matt's doing, and then the other 2 races too, man. I hope you can get to Michigan and Berlin. So good luck.
We're going to do our best. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate you.
Time for one of our favorite programs on the show. The third Monday of the month means it's time for Gary Did You Know? And Rich France, I got to hand it over to you. You guys work together so much. I don't even want to get in the middle of it. Please take it away for Gary Did You Know?
Like we don't work together enough.
That's right.
Now you're gonna leave us. We get another day together. No, it's fun. Gary Lindahl, welcome back into Horsepower Happenings, my friend.
Always a good time to be with you guys, that's for sure, Rich. And a lot of fun Saturday. 3 track records we had at Flat Rock. That was cool. That was fun to announce.
Yeah, we kind of didn't know. They came close when it was about the same temperature and cool on opening night. Last week it was 80 degrees and nobody came close. Not even in the same ballpark. But it was pretty different. We had a bunch of guys get really close, and 3 of them broke it.
That was cool. That was an interesting night. It was fun. There was good racing. Look forward to another good race this weekend, Joy Fair Memorial 100 for the late models.
Yeah, Zach and I are going to talk about that in a little bit. But first of all, let's go back to the April quiz. We're going to reveal the answers like we usually do and see if you know them, Gary. So are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Question number 1 from April, quiz number 48. Jim Blount ran an open wheel car sponsored by what salvage company?
That would be OK Salvage. And of course, Jim Blount was a famous guy around the Midwest, ran super modifieds, ran stock cars. And the Blount family has been pretty prominent to this day, even in racing around the Midwest.
All right. Question number 2. This open wheel driver was nicknamed Tinker.
That would be Tinker Joe Martinsick. He was the guy that did most of his racing at Sandusky Speedway and on the half mile, and basically in the Ohio area and everything like that. But he was a good shoe.
Yeah, I didn't know the name when I had never heard of him. But then you say Sandusky, that's probably why. I've only been there a few times in my life.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to question number 3. This open wheel driver had the logo Little John on the side of his car.
And that would be the driver, Jack Conley. Jack from Brighton, Michigan. You know, he built a lot of the, I think it was the Xfinity motors and all kinds of stuff. His cars didn't look very good, but man, he was fast wherever he went. And him and Fair used to get into battles from the super modified days. And he kind of hung around doing different things, kind of quit racing and then built engines and did really well, you know, so God rest his soul. And he was one of the true characters in auto racing.
And question number 4, I think this may have gotten a lot of people messed up because I had to try to remember when Dave Coolman ever ran one place and long enough to win a championship. But where did Dave Coolman win his first championship?
That would be at Spartan. And that was in their old sportsman division. And that's where Dave first started racing. In fact, he raced there, you know, quite a bit and then started expanding out and got into late models. And then, you know, obviously came to Flat Rock and then the Iceman and the rest is history.
Well, Zach, it was pretty cool. Our HPH fan, Brad, Gary, he got 3 out of 4. So he almost got you. He didn't he didn't get question number 1 right, but he had the next 3 on a run. So
I think Brad's gotten Gary once. I think I've given Brad a hat once. So close, but not able to get another one.
Well, I'll tell you what, he certainly does his homework, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. All right, let's see how Brad does for the month of May. Rich, what do you think about that?
Yeah, quiz number 49, Gary, for the month of May. It's on you. Question number 1.
I tell you, it's amazing. It's already 49 quizzes with you guys.
Oh.
Anyway, question number 1. Where was the first pavement sod race held? Interesting, huh?
There's going to be some people that get that.
I would think so. Okay, question number 2. What were Dick Barker's 3 favorite numbers?
They'll get that too.
3 numbers.
They'll get it.
Yeah, they probably would. I would imagine. Unless they forget about 1. But anyway, question number 3, which Indy driver was part of the Jiffy Mix family?
A
They'll
little.
never get it. I know who it is. I've heard of the name. They'll never get it.
I like too throwing in a little Indy trivia in the month of May. Good work, Gary.
Well, it is exactly. It is the month of May, and the Indianapolis 500, which actually I wasn't doing a whole lot yesterday, so I watched qualifying and I watched that top 6 qualifying deal, and it was pretty darn exciting to see that rookie win the pole.
Well, if you like the Indy deal, Zach, wait till question number 4.
Uh-oh.
Yes. Okay. Question number 4. Who was dubbed the Clown Prince of Racing?
I have no idea.
There you go.
Get that one. I have no idea. Is that an answerable one? Should somebody get that?
I would think so.
That one might be, but
yeah.
I think question number 3 is going to be the tough one. Mark me down for that one, Zach. We'll check it next month and see.
Would you have known it if you didn't see the answer?
Question number 3?
Yeah.
Oh, heck no.
Okay.
Heck no. I wouldn't have known. I remember him racing at Indy. So, I mean, you remember names, right?
Sure.
I clearly remember the name. I did not know this. So, and obviously Jiffy Mix is a sponsor. So.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's where the money came from. A lot of it.
All right.
Anyway, and Jiffy Mix is in Chelsea, Michigan, by the way.
Is that a hint? Does that help?
Shut up, Gary. Gary, shut up. Get out of here. Shut up now.
That's all you get. Okay. Can you believe it? Next month, quiz number 50.
Wow.
Unreal.
We're gonna have to do something special for quiz 50. Yeah.
I don't know what we're gonna do. We'll have to think on that.
We'll come up with something.
I'm not quite sure.
All right. Well, hey, Gary, thank you.
But anyway.
I appreciate it.
Hey, not a problem.
How is everything going? I'd like to get an update from you and hear how the wife and you are doing.
Well, Sharon still got her issues, and we're trying to get those fixed. I mean, she's hanging out here next to me on her couch, so, just playing on the iPad or telephone. Mm-hmm. And I just got done with blood work, and then I got done with chest x-rays, and they both were 2 thumbs up. So that's a good sign.
Gary, Mr. Appointment Lindahl, that's because he's got an appointment every single day of the week, it seems like.
Pretty much. Isn't that amazing? And guess what? I get to go to the dentist tomorrow.
There you go.
That's because I'm long in the tooth, right? Okay. I'll say it for you.
Gary, man,
Zach, just to let you know, Zach, I knew he's had a rough time. So on Saturday at Flat Rock, I made him work. I had him announce a bunch of races. He still got it, by the way.
Good.
He still got it, by the way.
Good.
He knows what he's doing. Didn't need any advice from me.
I don't know. I don't know that was in doubt, but okay. All right, Gary. Appreciate you, sir. Thanks for doing this.
As always, gentlemen, we'll stay off the wall and see ya.
Well, time for our next interview tonight. This one is brought to you by Michigan Whitetail Properties, serving the upper and lower peninsulas of Michigan. He picked up the win Saturday at Owosso Speedway from Birch Run. It's Dan Leeck. Welcome into Horsepower Happenings.
Hey, guys, for having me.
Dan, man, something about you and fuel mileage races at Owosso. I don't know what it is. They either go really well or really poorly for you. And, before we dive all the way into this, I want to just kind of open the floor for you and let the race car driver who actually had to deal with everything have the floor first. Just talk about Saturday. We know it was a struggle from the racers to the officiating, but just kind of talk about everything that unfolded on Saturday.
I've been on both sides of it. So, I've ran out of gas leading with 5 to go. I've had the fastest car in practice. So I've had fast time and not walk away with the win. So it's nice to be on the other side of the racing luck this time around. I'm not gonna point any fingers or throw anybody under the bus. I know things happen. Rex and his crew have done an amazing job on the racetrack, state of the art, everything. So for them taking on the the Outlaw Series for the first time, it's just like anything for the first time. There's going to be hiccups, and if anybody knows how Rex gets things done, he's going to look at how things went and he's going to fix it. I mean, no doubt in my mind, he's going to have, just like the track, he's going to have one of the best Outlaw Series around.
I think there's something to be said for the first time that you do something. And there were a lot of folks that were confused. For clarity's sake, this is the first time that Owosso's gone back to running the Outlaw Super Late models on their own. Now, granted, they did a lot of the officiating for Reveal the Hammer. It's also the first time that they've run Outlaw Super Late models this season in 2025.
Yeah.
And it's the first time that they've raced Outlaw Super Late models with spotters. So there was a lot of variable going into this. I don't know that I don't know that it was worth 134 laps of caution, which is what I was unofficially told was the count today. I don't know that it was worth that, but there's going to be some pains along the way. And I almost wonder, Dan, you kind of give me this too. Give me this, your impression of this too. I think when you have a facility as nice as Owosso, you sometimes forget that this is still short track racing, and sometimes things just happen.
For sure. Like you said, there was a lot of firsts there. So, just like you, just like myself, for the first time, it's always learning. It's a learning curve. So, what I can say is from what I've learned going to Owosso and how Rex does things, he'll have it fixed. And there's some issues. We all know that, but it'll be taken care of. I mean, I know they, the tire process, the way they did the impound, I loved it. I thought that was great. Everybody was on the the same playing field as far as the tires. The tech's top notch. I mean, they even got a referee. Where can you go that
They've
that
got a
super
referee
late
for the
models,
Outlaw
cars have a referee to go through?
Wow.
Yes, I mean it's as thorough as going to a CRA race. I mean, basically it had the same atmosphere, the tech barn, the procedures as going to a top notch CRA race. So as far as the officiating or whatever happened on the racetrack, you're going to have that your first time. They're going to learn. They're going to take everything. They're going to learn from the mistakes, and I'm sure the next one's going to be, it's probably just going to be just fine.
Dan, I want to put the priority on something else for a minute, because I don't want it to be all about what happened. And there were a lot of people upset, right? Not just a couple people, a lot of people with a lot of experience were upset with how everything went on Saturday. But you put yourself in a position to win that race. Even though Blake was out there and he had an issue, apparently 18 gallons doesn't make it for 154 laps or whatever it is. You put yourself in a position to that race and deserve to win that race.
Thank you. I truly, I do appreciate that, because, I've been, like I said, how I started this conversation out, I've been on both sides of this. Does it suck? Oh my gosh, does it ever? I hate it for Blake. I've been there. I know. I mean, I was sick for weeks, it's a tough deal. And like I said, earlier, I'm so grateful and thankful to be on this side of the racing luck this time around. But sometimes we need to look back and think, did Chad Finley have a dominant car? Absolutely, he did. But I don't want to take anything away from my team, because my team worked their butts off, and we were right there with them in qualifying. Practice, we were right there. And unfortunately, on I think it was second or third lap, we got caught up in what I feel was somebody else's racing. Just things were happening so fast there that I got caught up in it. So who's to say that we might not have been the most dominant car? We don't know, because I had no right front fender. The toe was knocked out a mile. The right front tire had a 1/4 inch gash in it, missing tread. I could go on and on and on, but my guys worked their butts off. They got me back out. I had to keep calm, keep cool. And, I knew from that point forward that I was going to have to do whatever I could do to salvage a good finish for all them guys. Because I mean, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort to even get to the racetrack. So when that wreck happened so early on, I just didn't want to give up for them guys. So for everybody that's worked so hard to get me there. So, I do want to keep mentioning that, the few mileage deal that helped us, sure did. It most definitely helped out. But at the end of the day, we still passed some top-notch race cars. The number 7, he's won some big races. He's a tough competitor. Brian Bergaker, I mean, in the Outlaws, come on, he's one of the best. He's awesome, man. He's won some big races, and at the end of the day, we passed him fair and square. And I just don't want to take that away from not only myself, but my team, my guys, everybody that's worked so hard. I feel they deserve a little bit of gratitude. Everybody, not everybody, because there's been a lot of people that's reached out to me today and yesterday, and it's been awesome. This is a humbling sport. So to get the support that we have got is great. But in the other side of things, kind of sucks when you see on Facebook, some people, well, you wouldn't even have won if somebody didn't run out of fuel. And I'm like, get it, but somebody won when I ran out of fuel too. So I've been on both sides of it, and I hate it. I hate it for everybody. I really do, because I've been there, and I get it.
Oh, man. See if we can get him back in here. Just got to do the audio deal there, Dan. I don't know if you can hear us. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yep, gotcha.
All righty.
Yep.
So yeah, just I don't want to take anything away from my team that worked really hard. Just saying, I've been on both sides of it, so I get it. It sucks for everybody around, but at the end of the day, we passed some very, very top-notch race cars, and we got the 55 in victory lane finally.
There's something that does bother me, Dan, and I want to talk to you about it. We're not going to beat on the officiating because we'll be here for an hour and a half going back and forth on it, right? With everything that Zach talked about. What I'm trying to wonder is what is wrong with the outlaw drivers when they check into Owosso Speedway. I have not seen a race where they haven't torn up half the field one way or another. It doesn't happen at Berlin in a big race. It doesn't happen at Flat Rock in a big race. What's going on at Owosso? Are these guys driving out of their minds? Because there are, like you said, you name some of the best in the business that you had to beat. And they're getting tore up too.
And usually, and I say too, usually the best in the business race as the best in the business. Normally you don't get the all-stars all together and have calamity. It is very strange.
Right. Yeah, I wish I had the answer to that, because if I did, I would fix it, or at least give my opinion on fixing it. But I don't know, man. It is a little bit, we got to put this, we can't put all the blame on the racetrack. We have to put a little bit of this blame on the drivers ourselves. Was I embarrassed that I was involved in a wreck on lap 3? For sure. I feel like I should have been better than that. We all should be better than that, really. I don't know if it's because the surface is so smooth and it's so fast, but then yet you go to places like you mentioned, Berlin. Berlin's fast, a lot of momentum through the corners, and we don't tear cars up. So I'm not sure why once we get to Owosso things happen the way they happen, but it's time to put a little bit of the blame on us drivers, because we all got to do a better job. It's not just because Owosso Speedway did it themselves. I mean, we had the same thing happen with Reveal the Hammer series. It's just outlaw super late models at Owosso Speedway in general. So the spotters, that's a two-way street. If they're used properly, they should save the day. If they're intended to do what they're supposed to do, and everybody does their job, they should save wrecks. But the bad thing is they can also be used to hurt yourself. And also, if you do get some guys that aren't used to racing with radios and they're used to racing a certain way, to somebody's door or to somebody, and then you got a guy that's used to racing with radios if you're to their quarter panel. So then that's when you kind of get yourself in a mess too, because radio racing and no radio racing, it is two different worlds. So I don't know if that had something to do with it. I hope it didn't, because I believe if used properly, radios are the way to go for that kind of race car, because they are very expensive. You're going that fast. So I do truly feel that radios are needed, but I don't know what the answer is, I guess. I hope that everybody can just look back at it and say, okay, maybe it's on us as drivers. Maybe we all just need to calm down a little bit and remember that it's 100 laps.
Yep. And Dan, I've because I've come from an outlaw track, right, at Flat Rock and Toledo, I've seen a lot of it, right? And I don't think the radios had anything to do with this weekend, because the Outlaws were tearing up the last 2 years at Owosso, fine just by themselves without spotters.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
What I think they're good for, like at a track like Toledo, Owosso, high-speed tracks, is you may have a 2-car wreck, but you don't have a 10-car wreck.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
That's the safety factor where if spotters are used correctly, it can save a bunch of race cars.
I agree.
I don't think it had. I don't think it had anything to do with the performance this weekend. They had no problem the last 2 years in those 10 races wrecking cars as well.
That's right. I agree with that 100%.
Well, I want to keep talking about Saturday and shed some positive light on this coming up in just a second. But first, I want to say thank you to Michigan Whitetail Properties, serving the Upper Peninsula all the way down to the Lower Peninsula, originating out of Hillsdale, Michigan. Michigan Whitetail Properties can get you what you need, whether you're looking for hunting land, something to develop, or you're looking for something to build on. You need that waterfront property. You need farm acreage, ranch acreage. They've got you covered at Michigan Whitetail Property. They've got homes from the southeast to the extreme Upper Peninsula northwest side of the state. Michigan Whitetail Properties can help you, and they have some listings available right now. If you're getting ready, if you're starting to plan what you're going to do for this fall, you can have this closed and probably get a plot in. Be close, but you might be able to get it done. Michigan Whitetail Properties.com for more information, or you can call 517-437-2946. That's 517-437-2946 for Michigan Whitetail Properties. Dan, let's talk about what a race like Saturday does for you. Regardless, we used to say this all the time when I raced. I've raced in a 2-car race. I've raced in races with a B main. And we always said a win is a win. And that was kind of what you were getting to earlier. What does Saturday's win do for you and that team, that 55 crew? How much did that? I mean, you could see the smiles in Victory Lane, and you could hear how fired up you are about it today. What does something like Saturday do for you guys?
Well, the biggest thing is it keeps us going. That $10,000 that goes right back into the program keeps us going, makes us be better for the next one. But as far as like morale, oh my gosh, it's huge. It's been a long time coming. We've been so close so many times. Tony and his wife Becky and Devin, they try to give me the best equipment that we can have, and I feel like we've been so close so many times, and to finally put them in victory lane and see the smile on Tony's face, man, it felt great. And then then my family and all my supporters that I've had for so many years to almost like the big stage, it's finally Outlaw super late model at Owosso on the new pavement. It's just awesome. Hard to put into words. There was so much that went into it. Did we have some things go our way there at the end? Absolutely. I'm not saying that we didn't have a little luck, which is great, because I'd rather be lucky than good any day.
Right.
I don't know how many times I'm going to say this. I've been on the other side of it, so I get it. We walked out in the shop this morning and that big check and trophy was sitting on an orange toolbox. So we brought her back to Birch Run, man. It's been a long time coming, and it just feels really good, really gratifying.
I just want to touch on this because you've said it, because you have said it a couple times that you've been on the other end of it and you appreciated what Rich said so much about, you guys did earn that win. Um, are you seeing like some hate about this win on Saturday? And I've never felt you. I feel like a little bit of a defensive Dan Leeck tonight, which I've never really experienced before. Like what's going on? And are you it feels like you really are trying to defend your team so that they don't get down on it. Like you as the driver know, hell yeah, we won that race. But
That's right.
it kind of feels like you're, I don't know. I just feel a little bit more of a defensive Dan Lee than I've ever felt before.
Yeah, yeah. Normally I'm happy. I'm so happy. But and I'm trying to not let it get to me, but there's been a lot of hate. Um, let's just say social media, it's kind of like spotters. It can be used, it's a great marketing tool. It can be used properly. It's awesome. It's the best thing ever. But also, if you misuse it, it can be the worst thing ever.
That was
So
that was a great analogy. That was just so good.
so I'm just trying to, yeah. So I'm just trying to take all the good, all the supporters, everybody that's been with us for so long, and all the new friends that everybody that's happy for us. And I'm just trying to listen to them, and the few people that have other things to say, well, then I don't know. I guess they can come over every night when we're out here working on this 55 and give us a hand and see what it takes. So,
Right.
um, but yeah, so I'm happy, but I'm also a little bitter, I guess you could say.
Do you feel like you need to, and this is the last thing, Rich, and then you can go. Do you feel like you need to now go out there and it's kind of like Tony Stewart was saying with his NHRA. Okay, we got one in Vegas, but now until we get the next one, we're not really there. Do you feel like now you got to go out there and win one that goes green to checker or something for these people? Like, I mean, do you have some of that in the back of your mind?
It's crazy to me because this. Let's just use the Nationals last year at Owosso. The Nationals, okay, fastest in practice, fast time. Start in the invert was 16. We start 16th. We get up to the lead, and then we had some issues, but we went back to the back, come back to second. I mean, in my mind, we had the fastest car on the property that weekend, and we didn't win.
And win the race. Yeah.
So now we win with a damaged car, and it's still not good enough for these people. So it's just like, whatever, you know what I mean? Like we'll take win, and we're gonna just be happy about it. And for everybody that's not happy, like I said, if you guys want to come over to my house and give us a hand working on this car to see what it takes to get it to victory lane, then shoot me a text, and I'll let you know where I live, and you can come over.
All right, Rich, go ahead.
No, Dan, I want to kind of compliment you because, I mean, over the years, you've talked to us when you absolutely wanted to talk to us, and you talked to us when you didn't really want to talk to us at times, right? Best of both
That's
worlds.
right.
But what you always hear about you is we, right? The
Mm,
team,
yeah.
we.
Oh, yeah.
What did this?
That's
What
right.
did this do for the driver? Because it does affect you, right? You're doing this for the team. It's not a one guy deal. You're not preparing this thing by yourself. You're not, you're not getting it out there by yourself. But what's this do for you? It's got to be like, check this one off the list. Let's go get another one.
That's right. No, you nailed it. Obviously there is no I in team. I know that's, PFY football saying, but it's true. That's there's a lot that goes involved to get the race car not only to the track, but to be able to put yourself in contention to win. But to answer your question, I mean, for me, it's everything. There's been times where I've doubted myself, like, hey, man, should I be the one sitting in this car? Should he get somebody else that can win? I don't know. Is it just me? Do I bring this bad luck? Like, what's the deal here? So to be able to win with a car that in an outlaw body car that's so aero dependent, to be able to win with missing a right front fender, half the nose. I mean, to be able to do that, man, at the end of the day, I kind of feel, I feel like I should feel good about it. I'm
Yeah.
like, man, I did my job. I did my part. Should we not have got in that wreck in the first place? Probably not. I feel like I messed up there. Like I should have been better than that. I shouldn't have got myself in that predicament. But But after that, I pulled the belts tight, cleared my mind, just, relaxed a little bit, and felt like from that point forward, I did what we needed to do to put ourselves in contention to win. Like I said, we passed some top quality cars to get to where we were. And the racing lords were just looking out for us there at the last lap. So I'm just, I'm thankful to be able to sit in a car like that. And I really, at the end of the day, man, it feels pretty darn good to have this conversation with you that we won finally.
Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah. No, just real quick. All we got to do now talk Rex out of having those Kalamazoo inverts, and it'll make your life a lot easier.
Yeah, them are some big inverts, but I get it. It puts on a show for the fans. It's definitely a little aggressive. I feel like 8 would be more than efficient, but they don't want people to run away with the show either. So I get it, but yeah, I don't know. The inverts are big, but it can be done. Blake's won from 16th before. We woulda, shoulda, coulda at the Nationals. We started 16th and got to the lead, so it can be done. It is it's a little aggressive and hard on equipment, but at the end of the day, it puts on a good show for the fans.
And just
like 134 laps hard on equipment. If the inverts are shorter, I bet there's less cautions. I'm just saying, after watching the Outlaws possible. For all I have.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, I'd be game to try it. Let's be
Oh, I bet you would.
6 to 10. Let's see if that fixes the problem.
Yeah, and just a last note on this. Full results available at horsepowerhappenings.com. Dan Leeck wins. Brian Bergacre, Justin. I always say his last name wrong. Rich. Justin Clarity. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
There you go.
Kyle Crump, who, by the way, I think this is the first outlaw race he hasn't won in like 5 starts or something. And Jason Felver, the top 5. Show me the slouch.
Yeah.
Top 5.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
So and go outside of that. Max Fair, Phil Bozell, Blake Childers, Kyle Drake, Joseph Brooks, top 10. Okay, maybe now you can maybe find a little bit of a slouch in there, but not much. So I tell you what, last thing for me, you've won in an outlaw car before and you kind of touched on it earlier, but I want you to elaborate why Owosso Outlaw 500 series is so big, why Saturdays was so special.
I mean, in my opinion, I think Owosso Speedway is the premier short track in the country right now. From the pits to the surface itself. I mean, I got friends in Florida that live in Pensacola. Pensacola's one of the best tracks in the country, and everybody at Pensacola is talking about Owosso. I mean, Owosso's the place right now, and that's where I wanted to win. That's where my team wanted to win. And to be able to say that we finally won one, I mean, it's awesome. That we've worked really hard since they put this deal together, whether it be with the reveal of the hammer or, the Owosso doing it themselves. Just the Owosso track, the lighting, just everything. I mean, it is a real deal operation.
Well, Dan, I want to, from Zach and I, congratulations, man. Well earned, well deserved, all capital letters. But now I want to give a shout out, have you give a shout out to everybody on that race car and all the people that got you to victory lane, man.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate that. And so does everyone that works on this car. First and foremost, Tony Rosebrew and his family, Devin and his wife, Becky. Great people. Like I said earlier, awesome opportunity to be able to drive for them. And the Rosebrew family, they have, huge history in racing. Tony's father is in the Michigan Hall of Fame. I mean, just won countless races. So, I mean, to even be hooked up with somebody like that, it's just, I mean, that's an honor all in itself. And then I got a great group of guys that's been with me forever. My buddy Matt Hogan, Kyle, Kevin Diffin, Neil, Neil Peters, Neil May. I mean, both the Neils. Neil May, he's actually the tech guy at Owosso now. And a few years prior, before he took on the job at Owosso, he introduced me to Tony. So I got to thank him because if he never introduced me, maybe this would have never happened. So big thanks to him for introducing us and to get this, this deal together. And my family, it's my racing deal, the Mr. Asphalt 12 car, that's all our family. So even though I'm in a different car, different number, they're still behind me 100%. And my wife, my kids, parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, you name it. I mean, they're all there. They're all supporting. They're all loving every second of it. TR Timber, Rosebrew Farms, let's see, Willard's, Mr. Asphalt, M&M Lawn Care, Bridge Lake Auto, Turn One, Willard's. Did I say Willard's? Yeah, I said Willard's. Hubbard. The list goes on and on. This car and this team, it's kind of like just a mix of my racing with Tony and the Rosebrew family racing. I mean, the list goes on and on of the people that we have helping and supporting, which is awesome. I've never had this before to where, we have people, How Racing. They've donated so much. Chaz at How Racing, I've always known of him, but Tony's got a really good connection with him. So, I mean, they've stepped up, they've helped out, and then I've known Terry at Seneca Performance to where, now we're all just one big family. Everybody helps one another out. Seneca Performance, Terry, and any questions we have, he boom, he's a phone call away. Mike Garvey at Mike Garvey Racing. He's the guy that comes from Florida. I mean, he comes from Florida to help us to get this done. That says a lot right there. When you can have somebody take away their time and come from Florida to Michigan, it's awesome, man. It's special what we have. A lot of good people in our corner. I hope we can keep it going. Get better and better every race. We've showed great speed, so we just the speed's there. We just need the luck, and I'm hoping that this race here kind of turns it around for us.
Well, Dan, congratulations, man. Good luck the rest of the way, and thanks for making time for us.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me.
All right. What a show. Massive. Thank you for getting to this point. And at this point, we take a look at the upcoming calendar of events. This is your weekend outlook, what you need to know, where you need to be for Memorial Day weekend, Rich. And first and foremost, we have 3 events lined up for you that are 4 events for you lined up that are absolutely can't miss. I'll go ahead and get us started. First and foremost, Friday, May 23rd, kicking off a massive dirt late model weekend in the state of Michigan. I-96 Speedway hosts the Valvoline American Ironman late models for $7,500 to win. That's 7,500 to win. Advanced tickets are available at i96speedway.com. Just $20 for adults. Seniors and veterans get in for $17, and you can upgrade to a pit pass. Just $35 to go pit side. Those gates open at 4 o'clock. General admission at 5. Racing at 8 o'clock Friday night, Rich. And I-96 has been sporty the last couple of weeks. And I'm telling you right now, with the lineup of late model racing, which we're going to talk more about coming up, on the dirt side this weekend, that $20 ticket is going to be a bargain price Friday for the cars that are going to show up at I-96, don't you think?
Oh, I think so too. I think if you're any type of late model fan, you kind of get everything this weekend, don't you?
Yeah.
From dirt to Outlaws to template car.
Yeah.
I mean,
tell me what
there
you
is
Saturday,
something
man.
for everybody. There is something for everybody. On Saturday, the second biggest race at Flat Rock Speedway there is all season long. The Joy Fair Memorial 100 for the Outlaws super late models. Figure eights and factory stocks will also be in action. Gates open at 4. Green flag at 7 p.m. I have heard grumblings of the entry list. If you want me to tell you, no, buy a ticket. You can come out and see. You can come out and see who's showing up. It will be a good field. I trust me. Adults $25, kids 6 to 12 $5. 5 and under are free. There is a rain date for the Joy Fair Memorial 100. It is on Sunday at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. If for some reason Saturday doesn't work out, I don't see any reason why it won't.
Yeah.
Tickets, detailed schedule, and more are available at flatrockspeedway.com, Zach.
Sunday, big dirt late model show returns. This one is at Crystal Motor Speedway. You guessed it, the Valvoline American Ironman late models, $7,500 to win. And I'm going to tell you, Crystal's been racy. It's been pony up. It's been slick through the middle. You don't really know what you're going to get on Sunday, and it's a doubleheader weekend, too. So we'll see what that track has in hold for it on Sunday. $25 adult ticket. Advanced tickets are available at crystalmotorspeedway.com or on the Ticket Hoss app. Pits open at 2, general admission at 4. Racing on Sunday at Crystal at 7 o'clock with the Valvoline American Ironman late models. And just like Friday at I-96, these late model teams are in Michigan this weekend. Michigan is the place to be. You're going to see a great show on Sunday. There's no doubt about it. And if that's not enough, Rich, we've got even more.
Double time. We get paid double time for the holiday, don't we?
Yeah.
Double time on Monday.
Hey, 0 times 2 is still 0. But yeah, we get paid double time on Monday. What a show we've got lined up Monday afternoon.
Yeah. And I have heard grumblings that this is going to be a pretty good field as well. A lot of guys coming up to kind of get the lay of the land before the Masters of the Pros coming up later this summer at Owosso. The Big O Classic 100, $10,000 to win for the Jake CRA All-Stars Tour. And then for the first ever time, the ultra competitive CRA Street Stocks come to Owosso, 100 laps for them as well, $4,000 to win. I saw Cole Baxter at Flat Rock Speedway. He goes, $4,000 to win. I've never seen that before in my life in a CRA Street Stock.
That's right.
Yep. $15 for adults, $12 for seniors. Advanced tickets are at OwossoSpeedway.com. Zach, pits open at 8. General admission at noon. The first green flag falls at 2 p.m. on Monday afternoon at Owosso.
It's going to be a great weekend. Big late model show at Butler on Saturday. Great Lake Super Sprints is at Lima Land, Millstream, and Waynesfield this weekend. Lightning Sprints are at Tri-City and Crystal. Memorial Day weekend is always, after Memorial Day weekend, Rich, racing is, you've got the big shows this weekend, and then it's full tilt right through, the end of August into early September when the kids go back to school. This is really when you get the driver out and launch the sport into full gear. Don't you feel like that?
Yeah, we've had some big races early in the season on the calendar that we've announced, but this is the first weekend where all down the board, big events. There is something for everybody. If you can't find something on this weekend schedule, Zach, that you like, I venture to say you're not probably a race fan.
I'm kind of excited I'm going to have 4 races in as many days this weekend. I can't remember the last time I've worked that much, Rich. It's going to be
I was going to ask you if you were going to figure out a way to take Monday off and leave it to me and Jonathan.
Well, I've been known to do that before, so.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
No, we'll be there. Big O Classic 100, Owosso Speedway. Come on. I wouldn't miss that. That's going to be a good one for Jake's Tour.
Keep the fluids up all weekend. So you're still going on Monday.
Should probably be water, right? Not Coors Light. There's water in it, but.
Yeah, probably don't want to overdo it.
Okay.
Is all I'm saying.
So in moderation, is that what you're saying?
In moderation, yes.
All right.
Moderation.
I'll be sure to drink water in moderation this week.
If you could spell moderation, you'd know how much you could drink.
Hey, that's going to do it. I want to say thank you to Matt Kemp, Dan Leeck, Gary Lindahl for making time for the program tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. Reminder, Memorial Day Monday is our one day of the year that we do not work. Because we're going to be at a racetrack. But keep an eye on our social media channels. We may fire something up from Owosso Speedway on Monday evening just for the heck of it. So maybe a little Facebook Live action. We'll see what happens. But we'll keep you posted on that. So for Scott Manlin, who pays the bills, Rich France, my co-host, we wish you a great Memorial Day weekend. Stay safe. No, I won't say that. Stay safe. Have fun. And hopefully we see you at a racetrack coming up. Till next time, we'll talk to you same time, same place, right here on Horsepower Happenings.